Hey everyone, and in this video, I will be presenting about IAM. So, IAM is a IAM in the full form of Identity and Access Management. It's a global service used to secure, control who can access what in AWS. When you first create an AWS account, it automatically includes a root account. But this should never be used for daily work because it has unlimited power. Instead, we create IAM users who represent real people, and IAM group, which are just collection of users with similar permission. Users can belong to multiple groups and even none depending upon their role. So coming to the permission, in IAM, users and group do not have permission automatically. We grant permission using policies, which are simply JSON documents that specify what actions are allowed on which AWS resources. A very important security principle in IAM is least privilege, which means you give users only the exact permission that they need, nothing extra. And now, coming to the policy structure is basically here is the structure of a typical IAM policy. Every policy contains few keywords that is version. Usually always 2012 dash 10 dash 17, and you have statement. Statements is nothing but the main block that defines permission, and this ID is nothing but the ID of the policy. And the effect is basically you can allow or deny the user to use your application or your servers. Action is basically what someone can do, like uh, get an object or put the object. And resources are basically which resource the actions apply to. The principle here state that who are the policies applied to used in resources policy like S3 bucket policies. And the condition is basically often filtered, such as allowing access only from the specific IP. So policies are basically AWS way of saying who can do what on which resources. And the password requires the minimum length, the uppercase and lowercase, the numbers, symbol, password expiration, prevent reuse, and allow users to set their own password. So coming to multi-factor authentication is basically it adds an extra layer of protection to AWS account. So instead of logging in instead of logging in only with a password, users must also provide a one-time code from a device like mobile apps such as Google Authentication or Try, or hardware key like YubiKey and hardware token. So even if someone steals a password, a multi-factor authentication helps to prevent unauthorized access to your AWS account. So how can users access your AWS? One is AWS Management Console. So this is a web dashboard used in the browser. Users log in using a username plus password and optional multi-factor authentication. Think of it like logging into Gmail, but not for AWS. So, and coming to AWS command line interface. This is a command line access used by the developers or DevOps engineers. Authentication happens to access key ID and a secret access key. And then coming to AWS SDKs, that is software development kit. So application and the code used by SDKs to interact with AWS, for example, Python, JavaScript app, and any other programming language like Linux or any mobile app connected to the AWS services. So basically, you can access your AWS account using programming languages. So the authentication requires access key and secret access key. Access key works like a password for the program. like command line interface or the code. So you need to understand that access key ID and secret access key ID. So it works. Access key ID works like a username, and where secret access key works like a password. So the purpose of access key is basically to identify who is making the request, and the purpose of secret access key is basically confirm the request is real and trusted. So it is used when you're trying to access your AWS services on your command line interface or by SDK. That is basically accessing through programming languages like Python, Java, JavaScript, etc. So coming to IAM roles for AWS services. So the AWS services sometimes need to perform action on your behalf. And you need to give them permission. We use IAM roles. So role is just a permission set that AWS services can be used. For example, like you give permission to the EC2 that the EC2 should access S3, DynamoDB, and Cloud Vault, etc. And Lambda role is basically you allow Lambda to access other AWS services. And Cloud Information role is that you allow you allow cloud formation role. So basically, you allow cloud formation to create and manage resources. So so coming to next topic, that is IAM best practices. So so to summarize that to summarize, here are some best practices for IAM. So basically, you do not use the root account except for rare admin tasks, and then you create one IAM user per person, and and then you need to assign permission to the group, not the individual users. And you need to use strong password and enforce a password policy. And yeah, you need to enable an multi-factor authentication for all important accounts. And you need to use the IAM role for AWS services like EC2 or Lambda. And coming to the last point is that use access key only when required and never share those access keys. So so in so I so now I'll be showing you the demo of IAM. And here in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a IAM user and how to assign roles to the IAM user. So enjoy watching this video. So I'm going to go to IAM and then I'm going to navigate to the users. Wait, let me delete all of this so it will be clear. Okay, fine. I will delete it later, no problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a user, and the username is going to be uh, learn more technologies. Yeah. And now I'm gonna generate a password. It's gonna be, and now I'm gonna just, yeah. So now I'm gonna generate a password here. Okay, I'm gonna save it here. And now I'm gonna uh add the user in the group. So I'm gonna create a group which says learn more admin. And in the group, I'm gonna give administration access. It provides full access to AWS services. And also you can create your own policy if you want. But I would prefer the policy which is by default exists in the AWS. So I can grant this permission, and then I'm going to create a user group. And after getting created, right? If you so this is a group which has been created, and this is a group which I've created, and we're gonna add a user in that group. Okay, so next, so I'm going to create a user, Okay, username is invalid. Okay, okay. Technology is 123. Okay. Okay, so now I've created it. Now we're gonna download the CSV file, and now we're gonna view the users. Okay, so so I'm gonna go for security credentials, and yeah, I'm gonna copy this link. I'm gonna open another browser and paste it here. So I'm gonna sign in. Okay, sorry, I gave a wrong password. Okay. Yes, I've logged into. Okay, the password time has been over, so I'm gonna update my old password. So I'm gonna confirm the password change. Okay, update. Then I'm gonna continue logging in. Okay, so I'm gonna go for this thing. IAM user. So here the permission are limited because I've only given the admin permission. Okay, so I'm gonna add another permission here. Okay, so if I go to the user groups, okay, if I go to the user groups, okay, I think I forgot to add the permission. Sorry, I forgot to add him in the group. Okay. Now he's added in the group, and in the group he had the administrator section. Now if I go back to here and refresh it here, so as you see, I the IAM user has been added in the group. and I have the publish policy where I have administrative access in the Learn More admin group, and also I have the permission to change the password. So so these are the roles of mine which the admin has the access to this. So I've given the admin policy so you can have access to this all of these resources. And now I'm gonna go back to the root account and I'm gonna delete it and see what happens here. Okay. Okay. User group, and I'm gonna remove him from the group. And now we're gonna see here. I'm gonna refresh it again. I see since I removed the user from the group, he doesn't the IAM user doesn't have the access as an admin. So this is how the quick demo of how to create an IAM user and how to assign them roles and policies. And I hope you enjoy watching this video. See you next time.